At precisely 4:40 a.m. on the 21st of March 1918, a single white rocket soared into the night sky above Saint-Quentin. It was a signal for over 10,000 German guns and mortars to thunder into action. More than 1 million German soldiers waited in the trenches, ready to follow in the wake of their thunderous bombardment. This was the Kaiserschlacht, the Emperor's Battle. It would prove to be the turning point of the First World War. The attack was on a scale never witnessed before. By nightfall, the casualty toll would be greater than on any other single day of World War I. The brainchild of German General Ludendorff, the Kaiserschlacht was designed to break the stalemate of trench warfare using surprise, shock, and speed. Ludendorff hoped to smash through the junction where the British and French lines met, rolling the British army back to the Channel. By 1918, Germany faced near certain defeat unless it could concentrate its full might on a decisive battlefield. Anything short of victory would risk the dissolution of Germany's allies and submission to the Allies' growing manpower and material superiority. The German nation couldn't stand another year of defensive warfare, which had been draining its lifeblood since Verdun in 1916. The Kaiserschlacht was an all-or-nothing gamble. The German High Command had always been willing to gamble. They gambled that violating Belgian neutrality wouldn't bring Britain into the war. They gambled on the Schlieffen Plan to knock out France in 39 days. They gambled that unrestricted submarine warfare would knock out Britain before the Americans came in. And now they gambled they could win the war in the West in 1918 with a knockout blow in trench warfare. The attack began with a massive bombardment, the likes of which had never been seen before. Over 1.1 million shells were fired in less than 5 hours, disrupting and disorienting the Allied forces. The Germans used a mix of high explosive and gas shells, creating a deadly cocktail that softened up the enemy for the advancing stormtroopers. By the end of the first day, the Germans had driven the British from 140 square miles of French soil. The German High Command celebrated, but the battle was far from over. Ludendorff's new attack formations were successful initially, but the defensive formations of the Allies compressed and consolidated. The Germans faced enormous supply problems, and their soldiers were rapidly running out of food. Despite their initial successes, the strain of continuous fighting began to take its toll. Ludendorff, undeterred, decided to continue his attacks, compromising his original grand strategy for more limited objectives. In the end, the Kaiserschlacht, though initially triumphant, marked the final roll of the dice for Germany. The Allies, bolstered by American reinforcements, held their ground. The German offensive ultimately failed to achieve its decisive victory, and the tide of the war turned against them. The Kaiserschlacht was indeed a turning point, a desperate gamble that would seal Germany's fate in the Great War. History remembers it as the Kaiser's last stand.